Spartanburg, South Carolina. White locals didn't want black soldiers from New York training in their town. It's like a red flag in the face of a bull, Spartanburg's mayor writes to the War Department. But here they are. One Saturday evening, the band of New York's 15th Infantry Regiment plays a concert in the town square, where a bandstand has been erected for the purpose. Lieutenant Jim Europe leads the band in playing rousing martial music. It's a huge success. "When do they play again?" asks one of Spartanburg's white citizens when the band have finished their concert. Perhaps things will work out all right in South Carolina after all. The feeling of patriotic unity does not last. In Spartanburg, black soldiers from New York are expected to follow the segregation laws of South Carolina without a word of complaint, are barred from certain shops, and are considered uppity should they so much as decide to walk on the pavement rather than the road. Abuse is common. Tensions soon boil over. One morning, soldiers in camp hear that one of their number has been lynched after a fight with the local police. On investigation, it turns out the story is nothing more than a malicious rumor, and a riot is averted. On another occasion, one of Europe's band colleagues is physically assaulted by the manager of a whites-only hotel when he goes in to buy a copy of a New York newspaper. This time, white soldiers from New York are so enraged by the behavior against one of their black colleagues that they seem ready to burn the hotel to the ground, until an officer arrives to calm things down. The 15th Regiment are in town for just 2 weeks. Then the orders come. Back to the city, then France. The Eastern Front, Kreuznach. The good news from Russia reaches Kaiser Wilhelm on board a train on his way back from a tour of Bulgaria. Emperor Charles joins his German ally for some of the journey and bothers him with his latest thoughts on solving the conundrum of Poland's future status if the war is won. Wilhelm holds forth on Wagner and his operatic genius. The Kaiser's knowledge on this subject is astounding, notes an aide in his diary. Back in Kreuznach, it is a return to the regular drill, the odd drive along the Rhine, meetings on Germany's latest crisis, which the Kaiser dismisses as the usual fluff, after-dinner films about the war, and lectures about the latest subjects to pique Wilhelm's fancy. In early October, it is the history and folklore of Transylvania. Later in the year, the Kaiser is off again, this time to Macedonia and Constantinople. Helsinki, Finland. Vladimir writes to Nadia asking her to come and visit. His letter is, as usual, written in invisible ink. It is accompanied by a map. Nadia accidentally singes a corner of it while reading the letter by a gas lamp. Shortly afterwards, she smuggles herself across the border and walks several miles through a forest to a Finnish railway station. In Helsinki, she struggles to find her husband's street, with only the half-burned map as a guide. It is late by the time she arrives. 2 weeks later, she makes the same trip again. The talk on the train to Finland is all political, Nadia reports to Vladimir when she finally reaches his hiding place. Soldiers openly boast of their willingness to rebel. At first he is delighted, and then alarmed at the news. This is it. The insurrectionary moment has arrived quite suddenly. There is no more time to lose. Only days ago, Vladimir was flirting with ideas of compromise with other socialist parties. Now he has swung around entirely. The time for such tactical flexibility has passed. The Mensheviks and socialist revolutionaries cannot be trusted to break their links with the bourgeoisie. Kerensky will do anything to cling on to power. In the summer, Lenin considered insurrection premature. Now he thinks it urgent. From his Finnish exile, Lenin writes a sharp letter to party leaders in both Petrograd and Moscow. He's not fussy which group acts first. The Bolsheviks, having obtained a majority in the Soviet of Workers' and Soldiers' Deputies of both capitals, can and must take state power into their own hands, he insists. They are left with no choice as the means to use. The present task must be an armed uprising. There is no time to lose. What if there is a separate peace between Britain and Germany, he wonders. This is a little fanciful. What if the Kaiser's troops march into Petrograd? This is more likely. History will not forgive us if we do not assume power now, Lenin declares. We shall win absolutely and unquestionably. In Petrograd, there is incredulity amongst Bolshevik leaders. Has Lenin lost his mind? Just at that moment, the Bolsheviks are trying out the previously agreed policy of limited compromise, attending a new conference bringing together all the parties of the left, from the Bolsheviks to the Mensheviks and socialist revolutionaries. What if Lenin's latest missive fell into the wrong hands? The letter is burned. Tobolsk, Siberia, 337 soldiers guard Nicholas Romanov and his family.